So I noticed, Dr. Rutledge, that you say we have to eat yogurt. What about the probiotic pills, and what are probiotics, and what's antibiotics, or no? Bad biotics? All right, I'm probiotics. No. So what is that talking about? First of all, we know there's some bad bacteria, like the swine flu, right? That's a bad, not bacteria, it's a bad germ. It's a virus. Staphylococcus aureus, that's a bad bug, a bad virus. And there's a yeast called Candida that you may face after the surgery, and that can be a bad germ, although it's not a bacteria, it's a yeast. It turns out it's only bad in certain situations, because we all have this Candida on us. Just if it grows in certain situations, it can be a problem. But if we mention bad guys, it turns out that we could not live successfully without good guys or good bacteria. And so the name they've come up for the bacteria that help us live a healthy life are probacteria or probiotics. And the common ones you may know are lactobacillus or acidophilus, and then a bunch of other bacteria are now kind of in the candidate group for being declared good guys. And how are they good for us? In what way? Well, probably the most common is that the bacteria that's in our gut. There's also good bacteria on our skin, as opposed to, we are not sterile. If you were to test our skin, there's bacteria there all the time, and what you want is to have good bacteria as opposed to bad. And so what you do is wash away the bad, and normally, if you have a normal gut, normal nose, normal mouth, normal bottom, good bacteria will grow back. That's bacteria that's not going to start a fight with you if there's a little break in the skin. So that's the good bacteria on your skin. In your gut, you want good bacteria. In your mouth, you want good bacteria. You don't want dangerous, scary bacteria that can harm you. And in the gut in particular, bacteria actually help you digest food. And if you don't have the good bacteria in there, bad bacteria will often move in. One kind of bad bacteria is now shown to cause ulcers. The Nobel Prize in Medicine last year was actually a group of 2 doctors from Australia that invented the idea that ulcers were not caused so much by acid as they were caused by a bacteria called Helicobacter pylori. Okay, the bad bacteria. Well, now research shows that if you eat good bacteria, that will compete and help put good bacteria and move out the bad bacteria. Similarly, down in the colon, that's the end of your gut, there's lots of bacteria. And again, good bacteria like lactobacillus and things like that can sometimes make it all the way down there and help change the character of your gut and help keep you from having gas, having cramps, having diarrhea, and things like that. Whereas there are some bad and dangerous bacteria, and one of the most famous dangerous bacteria is now spreading around the country is a bad bacteria named Clostridia difficile, or also called antibiotic-associated diarrhea. So after our surgery, if you have an antibiotic-associated diarrhea with Clostridia difficile, it can be very dangerous, and so if you have problems with that, you should contact us. It's going through a radical evolution in our society because 10 and 20 years ago, Clostridia difficile, the bad bacteria in your gut, wasn't very common and wasn't very dangerous. And now, presumably because we've used a lot of antibiotics, we've killed off a lot of others, and now we've grown some new strains of super bad Clostridia difficile bacteria. So now we're finding many more people dying of this bacteria, more diarrhea that's caused by it, and more severe diarrhea. So now we have to see that we basically created a Frankenstein bad bug for your gut. The only thing to tell you about it is most people don't get it. If you do get a bad diarrhea, you want to go see your doctor about it or call me. And we can help protect against it with those good guys, the probiotics. And one of the problems with the probiotics is once they drop into the acid in your stomach, they get killed because they get digested. Okay? And some bacteria can make it through. And it seems like the lactobacillus in yogurt can get transported and sometimes make it down to the colon and be helpful to you. So a lot of people prefer to recommend for a healthy diet and a healthy gut that you eat some yogurt every day. And that's how you come to our recommendations. A little yogurt is good for you. And we recommend it every day to get the probiotics. Now we heard, I think you were saying you couldn't stand yogurt anymore and you were taking the probiotics, or somebody said that yesterday. Maybe it was Heidi sitting next to you. And
yeah, I take probiotics too, though.
Probiotics plus yogurt is probably the best. We're now looking that there are more than one bacteria in this probiotics group. You may have seen the ads with Jamie Lee Curtis where she's talking about your bowel movements and the Activa, right? Because it has the new bifidobacteria mixed in. That's also been declared. I'm not sure who declares this as a good bacteria. You know, I now declare you a good bacteria. So, anyways, Activia has that extra bacteria in it, and so more good bacteria, probably good. And it helps colonize you with good bacteria and protect you from having pockets of bad bacteria, which may break on through at certain situations and may cause you some real trouble. So we recommend yogurt and or probiotics every day. And I think that's going to be a general recommendation for all doctors and all of us in good health.
How many times a day for the yogurt?
You can't have too much yogurt. So, on the other hand, right after surgery, you're not going to be able to eat much. So, some people say, I hate yogurt. And I say, how much you're eating? And so I try to eat the whole cup, and it makes me sick. And say, just back off. Don't try and eat so much. And if you want, you can spread it out with just a spoonful 3 times a day.
The Pepto-Bismol, I read on the website that if you take...
Well, let me finish up with that, so
okay.
I'll stop that. And now you're...